What is up, everybody, and welcome aboard the Fantasy Fast Track today. Today we're talking about the truth, and that is the truth of Cooper Kupp. Now, Cooper Kupp is one of my favorite wide receivers in the game in fantasy and just as a regular player, but Cooper Kupp last year was phenomenal before he got hurt, and believe it or not, the stats are insane. Cooper Kupp was knocking on 200 fantasy points, while Justin Jefferson was barely even scraping up to 130 fantasy points. So, you got to go with Cooper Kupp, and I am so happy that he goes late in the first round. If you can pick him up there, I've seen him from as far as 7 all the way to, I picked him up at pick 11 one time in a fantasy draft. So, he is falling, and you can pick him up there, and he is easy a good wide receiver to pair up with Cooper Kupp and then a Tony Pollard or something along those lines. You can even, with Josh Jacobs coming back and Jonathan Taylor, I don't know about Jonathan Taylor, I'm still kind of hesitant with him, but if you can pair a Cooper Kupp with a Josh Jacobs, you are well on your way to having a great fantasy roster. Now let's talk about Cooper Kupp for a second. A lot of the hesitancies are with injury, and in my opinion, it's not his injury, it is Matthew Stafford. I'm concerned about his back and that he's just been hammered his whole career, and that that is not a joke about his alcohol consumption. But Matthew Stafford, I didn't even think he was going to come back this next year. That's how serious his back injury was, and he didn't even know if he's going to come back. But I think as long as Matthew Stafford stays on the field, that Cooper Kupp is going to be the wide receiver to have. He plays in the slot, and he makes everybody. He just does the Travis Kelce and the Devonta Adams, where he is magically open every single play, and he gets tons of yards, tons of receptions, and there's no reason to fear Cooper Kupp unless you are fearing the injury-related issues that comes with picking up Cooper Kupp playing for the Rams. Now, the Rams are going to be one of the bottom offenses in the league, I would predict, this year. I'm sure they will. Well, they might even bump up to average, but they're going to be passing a lot, which means there's more volume for Cooper Kupp. In the 12 games that he played last year, he was on a 185 target pace, which is top of the line when it comes to wide receivers. I think the most targets we had last year was 184, so there you have it. And I believe that was Devonta Adams racking in all those targets. But with Cooper Kupp, he is definitely worth drafting at the end of the first round, and if you can get him late, the more the better. I would even be willing to trade for him, especially if the first week he goes out and has a dud. People are going to be ready to drop Cooper Kupp. Well, not drop him, but I'm sure they're ready to get rid of him because they don't want to handle the risk. And that's when you pick up Cooper Kupp and you go win you a fantasy championship. But Cooper Kupp is definitely a good wide receiver to have, and I don't see any issues with picking him up. I'm not even really worried about the age gap because a lot of his winning on routes isn't necessarily the fact that he may be slowing down, losing a step, all that stuff. It's just he's such a terrific route runner that even if he does lose a step, he's going to still be a step ahead of the defenders that are guarding him, because when you're 3 yards away and you lose a step, they're still 2.5 yards away. So let's keep drafting Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is such a phenomenal wide receiver, and I cannot be happier than the fact that he keeps falling later in the rounds because people are drafting other younger players, and really the player that scores the most fantasy points is going to be the best player for you on your team. So pick up Cooper Kupp. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm running through the top 60 Fantasy Pros rankings in half PPR scoring, and I'm just doing this to give everybody a 3 to 5 minute video on each player to help them with their drafts this upcoming weekend, and maybe it'll help you. Most of the players in the top 15 or so, they're players that really don't have much yay or nay. But the deeper we're going to get into this top 60, it's going to change your opinion on some players and hopefully help you in your fantasy drafts. If you got some value from this, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can look below or on my channel page. It has a playlist of the top 60 Truth episodes. So We'll see you guys next time.